Hi and welcome back to the channel. And before we get into today's video, first a huge thank you to all of you in the community who wish Mel a speedy recovery, obviously with her positive coronavirus test that she had. She did come down with the symptoms. Temperature mainly was the one that was way higher. Got it went into 39 degrees. She came down with a cough, loss of taste, aching joints and all that. It took around sort of, I would say, probably about 7-8 days for the symptoms to sort of abate a little bit. The temperature went down after about sort of 4 or 5 days. But other than that, you know, she's well on the mend now and sort of coming through it. Her isolation period ends, I think, today or tomorrow at the time of filming this. And Jamie and I have to continue to isolate till the end of the week. So, but we were all very humbled by all the well wishes and that you, the community, had sent to Mel, and she's read all of them and she's tried to comment on most of them and that. And but again, she's very pleased, and we're all very pleased with that. You know, your support you've shown us and that. So there we have it then. So that's a thank you from us at Battle Bunker to you, the community. So today's video, what's it all about then? Well, as I said, mentioned in the previous video when I talked about the coronavirus and that Mel had picked up, we were already on schedule for doing our, organising our Christmas game, and that for this year is going to be, hopefully, if we can all get together without the lockdowns and everything else and other tier restrictions, we were going to do the counter-attack at Arras, May 1940. The BEF you've already seen in a couple of videos that I've done a showcase and some add-on stuff that we've put into that. And terrain wise we've started putting together some buildings and bits and pieces, which again a couple of bits you've already seen, but today's videos and that's talking about us and what we've done with the Foreground church that they produce. So we've put that together and that, and we'll show you that and what we've done to that. And also, do you remember the battlefield debris from the bolt action battlefield debris in that box unboxing we did a few videos back, about 3 or 4 videos back? Well, we've got most of that up together and painted up and that, and I'll show you all of those, what we've done so far. So without further ado, I'll spin the camera around and that, and we'll get and have a look. So here we have then the Foreground 20th century church, or certainly a 20th century historical range. I mean, you could use this for all your horse and musket period range as well. It would fit in quite well with that. There's a bit of a story behind this church. Beasts of War on tabletop is whatever they're called these days. Did a competition many years ago now to win the Stoic Arms, was to name the next Foreground kit that they should design. This, again, as I said, it's gone back 2011, I think it was 2012, something like that. And I entered the competition and said it'd be really great with Warlord just releasing their bolt action Dad's Army figures if the Foreground could design the church for Wilmington-on-Sea, so we can have some good sort of scenario fun with that. Needless to say, I won the competition and won the Stoic Arms, went over to Foreground to go and collect it, because they're only just down the road from where we live. Met up with Ben and all the team and everything, got to know them really well. And this is the church that they designed on the back end of that competition. So, yeah, really pleased, really. I've had it ever since it's come out, so... So it's been kicking around on the shelves and that, but doing this project that we want to do for the Christmas game and that, I thought was ideal to get it out and get it built up and sort of show it off really. But there we are. So here we are. So as I said, it's a 28mm church. I'll take the old camera off and I'll go in a bit lower so you can sort of see it a little bit more detail. As I said, it's a nice bit of kit actually. Goes together really, really well. Lots of intricate little details. I love all the stained glass windows and that in there and that you put on. It sort of does certainly adds a little bit of character, and it really is a nice bit of kit. So we'll just come back out there a minute. There we are. And each section comes off. So I'll take the top of that off, and you've got. Go down there a little bit so you can see it. There we are. So yeah, nice bit of detail and that in there. And then this next section comes off. And again, that's where the bell tower would be, and the bell and that in there. Now, if you look underneath here, we've actually put, you might be able to see it there, put a light, got a battery in there, and in the top of there, and the trapdoor, I've put a switch. And if you just bear with me 2 seconds, I'll just fire that up. There you go, and that works. And obviously that would light up that whole area there. We've got a flicker effect on the lights there to represent the sort of candles and that. And then that would light up the whole of this front piece here. Moving round in there to the main part of the church. Roof comes off. Got all in there. We put like a low, all the headstones and all that in there. That's just kept in there for just safekeeping at the moment. So that's why they're all left in there like that. And obviously you got the pulpit. Just gets up in the corner. You got a set of pews and that here, which they all fit down to there and so forth. Got the fonts down at the back in there. And as I said, all quite nicely detailed. And again, under the roof space, again, put 2 switches in there. Turn those one on, that one on there. And again, you got 2 candle effect lights, which would then light up the whole of the center of that. And again, when that low light, you'll be able to see the candle flicker effects and that on there. And in this one, as I said, I just put all the bits and pieces and that in there just to keep them all safe. But up in there, again, another switch. Up in there, turn all that on, and then that would light up the end piece there. Pop that onto there. So I'll just put the camera back on the stand, and then that way I'll spin the church around and you can have a look at the other side. Spinning round. There we are. So there we have it. That's the Foreground church. As I said, it's a nice bit of kit. I really do like it. Goes together very well. It's about 4 evenings to go together. And obviously just lighting it up with the little battery packs and everything there. Zinj Industries, I think is where we got all the kit from for the electrics. They were very good. Got them at Slough last year. Very friendly guys. But yeah, so there we have it. That is the Foreground church. So up next we have the Rubble packs that came in the Battlefield Debris bolt action set. These were really nice. The red brick and that was painted with the Foundry red brick triad set. And obviously various sort of greys and washes and non-oils and nagrax or shades put over them to just sort of bring out some of the details and that in the brickwork. Very easy to put together, paint and everything else, all one-piece castings. And again, they will add to that extra little bit of detail and character and that on your gaming table and that. Excuse me. Brilliant for sort of, let's say, playing any period, to be honest with you. I mean, obviously they say bolt action, chain of command or anything like that, but you could use these for any of your horse and musket period and that. Again, wouldn't be too far adrift from that. Lovely additions, lots of character and flavour and that. Certainly I know Steve would get something from these for his bases and that he does for his miniatures and that. But yeah, really impressed with these, so go together really well. I was going to spin around and have a look at the other side for those. And so next up we've got the sort of sandbagged emplacements, roadblocks, and what is a monument that's been sort of blown out, the old statue, and that's down here. Obviously his legs on that on, still on the plinth. These are really nice, quick and simple to paint out with sort of beiges, greys and that, and browns and sort of leathers and tans and that on the roadblock there. Handy for, again, bolt action, chain of command. With chain of command and that, you can buy the roadblocks as a part of your support assets, and again, like, you can buy defences and that for your teams and that. So those sort of things that are brilliant for that. Really impressed for that, and will add some extra character and flavour and that into your games. And again, likewise with playing your bolt action, again, it will certainly add some flavour. But you could use, as I said, could use these two easily in that for your horse and musket periods, and that sort of really do lend itself for playing those sort of games. So that's sort of like your barricades and defences. And next up, we've got sort of like, well, a ruined telegraph pole, some barrels there with it sort of leaking out and that on the side, and some boxes, ammunition boxes, supply boxes and that all stacked up. I've got a plan for these two pieces here, which you'll see in a later video what I'm going to be using those for. No, a bit too much information on that at this stage, and that, but you'll see what I'm going to use that for. But yeah, I like the old sort of ruined telegraph pole and that there. That's really sort of nice bit of character, and that sort of adds a bit of flavour. And you've got a bit of the sort of like the wiring and that down on the deck and that in there as well. So again, that's a little bit of attention to detail like that. Again, various sort of brown, red browns, greens and that, all washed down with sort of Agrax and Known oil. Really does do the trick really. And that little spillage and that on the front there, do quite like that as well. But there we are, that's sort of like the industrial sort of part of it. And this lot we've got, obviously, it's the household debris in that. As you see, this is the Welsh dresser now, just gone past there with all the crockery and everything in it. Sofa and chairs and that all sort of been ripped apart and that, with obviously the debris coming down. Stack of table and chairs and that here. And again, you can have it that way, or you can sort of show it off with the table and obviously all its markings and that the other way. You've got the toilet and the wash hand basin. I sort of quite like those sort of two bits and that, really, really good. Chest of drawers coming round now. Again, well, it's sort of opened out and everything. So they really, I think they will decorate your tables really well. Certainly make your buildings look a bit more characterful and that. The desk and that, writing desk with the teddy bear on the top. All sort of a bit of fun really. And as I said, the Welsh dresser there with the sort of door broken off of there, and crockery all smashed with the shelves and everything coming down. That's all, again, a little bit of fun. Again, horse and musket period, World War One, World War Two, all that sort of 20th century, works really well for that. So that's the battlefield debris painted up, and that. There's a couple of other items we've not done. There's the sentry box, German sentry box. I haven't done that for this game, don't need that at all. There's a couple of other things that that you don't sort of need in that. But a couple of other things I want to show you, but we end of this one. Say there's some French civilians. Again, this will add a little bit of character to the game and that. Sort of like, you have a couple of them in the town areas and that. Just to liven it up a little bit really. And sort of add a bit of fun. I managed to pick these 3 base lots up off of eBay, and that was sort of relatively cheap. So I was quite impressed with that. But put together, turn this one around so you can see as he's coming around. This one, the nun here, this is going to be used for a shabby Nazi trick for chain of command. You never know, you can never trust them shabby Nazi tricks. So that'd be a bit of fun in the game when the guys come to play with that, sort of what that can do and what it can't do, and that sort of to upset the British. That will be a bit of fun. I have got a drinks cabinet for the British, which is an equivalent of what that is, but in it, and then I'm getting that done up at the moment. I'll base that up and I'll show you that in one of the next videos and that, but that'd be a bit of fun. So there we are. So that is everything that's happened, that's gone on so far. There is a little bit more that's been done. Like I said, I'll show you that in a future video. So I hope that you enjoyed that, guys. If you have, please leave a like, comment and subscribe, and let us know what you're doing for your bolt action and chain of command in the comments below. And until next time, happy wargaming and stay safe.